Welcome back to the Batman 80th Anniversary Batstravaganza, where I review every single Batman movie from the beginning till current and tell you what I think about them. We are still in 1997. Yes, I just got through reviewing Batman and Robin, but there was another Batman movie that came out in 1997 as well. This is the review of the Batman Superman movie, World's Finest. World's Finest was directed by Toshihiko Masuda, and it stars Kevin Conroy back again as the Dark Knight, but this time he's joined by Tim Daly, who plays the role of Superman and Clark Kent, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane, Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor, and we also have Mark Hamill reprising the role of the Joker, and Arlene Sorkin as Harley Quinn. This actually wasn't a standalone movie at first, but this was actually some episodes from Superman. It was a three-parter episode entitled World's Finest, and they put it together in a DVD and sold it as a movie. So even though it was originally just 3 Superman episodes, it comes together quite nicely in a movie, and because they sold it as a movie, I decided to review it for you today. The story goes a little long like this. Joker's kind of hard up for some money, and so he decides to go to Metropolis and kill Superman. He goes up to Lex and says, "I can kill Big Blue for you, but it's going to cost you $1 billion," and shows him the method in which he's going to kill him. Lex decides, if I can get Superman off my back, it's well worth it. The news that Joker has come to Metropolis has spread to Gotham City, and now Bruce Wayne decides it's a good time to come to Metropolis and try to find the Joker and possibly save Superman's life. In this case, he has not met Superman yet, so the two haven't met up, they haven't teamed up, they're a little bit wary of one another, which I'm going to talk about later. There's a little bit of romance that blossoms between Lois Lane and Bruce Wayne. Clark Kent may be a little bit jealous. He's like, hey, get off my territory. And this may bleed into when they've got their capes on as well. This all culminates in a showdown with Batman and Superman versus the Joker. And that's pretty much all I want to say about it. I gave away a few spoilers, but I don't want to give away the whole cow. So let me tell you the things that I do enjoy about it. As I said earlier, this is the first meeting of Batman and Superman. At this point, they only knew about one another. They didn't know anything intimate. And Superman finds out Batman's identity from using his X-ray vision. A little bit of a creeper thing to do, Supes, but Batman says, "You peeked," and then finds out who Superman is later on that night, which I love that about Batman. This shows the detective aspect of the character and also some stealth of the character. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. There's also a romance that comes with Lois Lane in there, and this is something that I don't really buy. At this point, Lois doesn't know that Clark Kent is in fact Superman. All she knows is that this dashingly handsome billionaire from Gotham City has come, and he's doing a deal with Lex Luthor. That's his cover story for coming to Metropolis. But she falls head over heels for him, and I don't buy it that much, especially the fact that she is a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist that eventually finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman and doesn't break the story. I mean, completely, like 100% transparency. That kind of story would win her another Pulitzer, and she doesn't break it. I don't buy it. And that's another thing that I don't like about Lois Lane, but this is not a video about Lois, this is a video about Batman. So back to the Batman business. There are quite a few Batman tropes that are in this that I really enjoyed. Whenever Superman first encounters Batman and puts his hand on Batman's shoulder and Batman counters and judo throws him over, and Superman has this look of like, did he just really do this to me? I am the Man of Steel. And Batman's like, I don't care who you are, if you touch me, I'm going to throw you. And I like that. One thing that I did dislike, and this has to do with the villains in there, and not like the big villains. We're not talking about Lex, we're not talking about the Joker, but we're talking about the fodder, the enforcers that have guns and things like that. They're all horrible shots. Like, I don't think any of them landed one single bullseye in the entire movie. Like, why have guns if they're not going to be effective with them? That's just a trope that I have never liked. The fact that if you're going to give these guys advanced weaponry against the heroes and they're completely ineffective, it's giving our heroes a freebie. I want them to have some sort of formidable force. But since we're talking about formidable forces, let's talk about Lex Luthor and the Joker. Lex, I love as he's kind of like the man behind the curtain when it comes to the foes. He's the one who is willing to give Joker all the money in order to kill Superman. Batman's just an extra thing that is holding the Joker back. Batman's not the main target. But then we have the Joker, who is, once again, as I said, voiced by Mark Hamill. And I'll be honest, I wasn't in love with this version of the Joker, and it wasn't Mark's fault. It has to do with the character design. This was after the 4th season of the Batman animated series, and after season 3, they did a redesign of all their characters, a little bit more simplistic. They were able to get animation out quicker, and I just didn't like the design. The Joker loses that nose that he has, he loses that big red smile that he has, and so the look of it looks a whole lot more muted. It doesn't feel expressive like the first 3 seasons of the Joker did, like the Joker that we saw in Mask of the Phantasm. I feel like that's something that's lost. Like I said, it's not Mark's fault, but it is what it is. I liked Arlene Sorkin's Harley Quinn just as I liked Mercy, and I liked the fact that they were pitted against each other. It was kind of played for laughs, but it wasn't a bad laugh. I enjoyed it. Overall, this movie wasn't really a movie. It still felt like a television series pieced together from 3 episodes. So it's a little bit difficult calling it that. But what it is a pretty interesting narrative about how Batman met Superman. Superman is kind of wary that Batman's on his turf and he doesn't want him to feel too cozy, but the fact that he does end up respecting Batman in the end shows that he earns Clark's trust and he is one of Superman's closest confidants when we get down the road in the Batman and Superman animated universes. Justice League falls in the same line as this. The question is, do I recommend it for viewing? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. Maybe it's because it's not really a movie and it's more of an animated series with several episodes. Maybe I don't feel like the gravity of it is all that high, even though there's a lot of things that happen. Maybe I feel like it's not very canon because at the very end something happens to a main character and it doesn't stick. But we could say the same thing for Mask of the Phantasm when I said that before. So there are a lot of things that happen. Some are enjoyable, but I just wasn't in love with all of it. So if you choose to watch it, that's great. You can actually pick up a copy anywhere that they're sold. But if you don't watch it, you're not really missing much. There's good voice acting, there's some interesting things that happen, but it's passable. So that's my review of the Batman Superman movie, World's Finest. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends, and as always, this is Cameron with CP Reviews. We'll see you next time.